While the hosts of Sisters in Arms have taken every precaution to ensure that the content of this program is both current and accurate, errors can occur. The hosts assume no responsibility or liability for any errors or omission in the content of this program.
The information contained in this program is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantee of completeness or accuracy. The opinions of the guests are not necessarily the same as the hosts.
Welcome to Sisters in Arms. I'm Carrie Ann Alclair.
And I'm Renee Gagne, and together we serve as a Second Amendment resource for the communities of Massachusetts.
Awesome. And before we start, Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. This is our first show for 2023.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting things going on too, don't we?
We do. And we have a half an hour to get to it.
I know. So let's get to it. So
first, let's talk about your live show that you were on.
Yes, great. Yes, so this was a little nerve-wracking because it was live, but it's called The Bullet. It's from the Second Amendment Foundation. So I was on there. It was a 90-minute program. Oh my God. And it was awesome. So I'm part of the crew. So I wasn't like a guest. I'm actually part of the crew. So there's a bunch of people on there, and they interview guests that come on, and I'm part of that now. So
that's
really
awesome.
exciting. Yeah, it was really
so
a big
cool.
thing for me. So and I was able to promote our Sisters in Arms show on there as well. So
that's always great.
Yeah, and the fashion show. So we got a fashion show for
Yes.
Goal, which is a nonprofit organization.
Yep, this is their third fashion show,
Yep.
right? Right.
Yep.
So we need volunteers for that. That'd be great. If anyone wants to volunteer, models, hair, makeup, it's going to be fabulous. We have a lot of diversity. So if you want to be a model, don't feel like you have to be a size 4.
Right.
We're looking for young, old, tall, short, everybody.
Yep.
Everybody. It's all inclusive. We're going to show the communities what our two-way communities look like.
Yeah, and we're going to showcase a lot of different accessories and stuff. So
not everyone needs to, not every model is a gun owner, so don't feel like you have to, own a gun to be a model.
Yep.
But I want to say the women that we have so far,
are all
probably about 80% of them are gun owners.
Yep.
There will be no live guns there.
No
live
but
guns.
if you want to get more details regarding the fashion show, just definitely reach out to us at sistersinarms2022@gmail.com.
Yeah, great.
And let's see, I feel like, and then I got a meet and greet. I got to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that.
So I got a meet and greet January 28th this month for the DC project. So if you're interested in learning more about this nonprofit organization that safeguard our Second Amendment, come and join me. If you want to know more information about that, again, give us an email. So send us an email. Shoot us an email.
Shoot us. I like how you did that. I like what you did there.
There you go.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so let's get to it.
Yeah. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to get your license to carry, LTC, and how to get your FID, which is Firearms Identification Card, and what to look for in a range. So let's get to it, because we only have a half an hour. We got a lot to talk about.
I know, it's crazy. So Carrie Ann and I thought this show would be really a super good topic to talk about, because there's so much misinformation in our communities. Like I'm thinking of the last conversation I had with someone who was completely misguided, was at a nail salon. I was getting a pedicure, and he worked there, and he came up to me, and it's funny because we can talk about guns and work it into any conversation, right? Do you find that?
And sometimes we do it on purpose.
Yeah, but a lot of times we don't. Like this guy, I was talking about how great the massage was, and we were talking about massage therapy, and I said, yeah, I actually was a massage therapist, and he asked why I didn't do it anymore, and I said, well, I turned my massage oil in for some gun oil, and he's like, what are you talking about? So that was it. It just opened it up, and he was telling me how he was in the Air Force. He was at Bora Bora for a long time, stationed there, and he was a lieutenant, and now that he's here as a citizen, he wants to get his license to carry, and he knows that he has to go to the police station and take a test to do it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, here we go. So education, telling him that's not the process.
Right.
But it just prompted us to do this show because there are so many people out there that are misguided.
Right.
So we figured we'll do this show, we'll break it down into a few easy steps, and then hopefully this episode will get shared everywhere, and we can get people educated in our communities.
Yeah, and realize it's not intimidating to get
Right.
your license to carry
Right.
as people think. So yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah. So we'll start with just an overview of what the difference is between a license to carry and an FID card, because there are really some people think that a license to carry, you have to carry, it's to carry a firearm, and that's not even really what that is. You can, but you don't have to carry if you have a license to carry.
It's just,
we think it's funny that people would think that, but it just has to do with education.
And every state calls it something different.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. So a license to carry, it permits you to purchase, possess, transport, and carry large and non-large capacity handguns, rifles, shotguns, feeding devices, as well as ammunition. There's a caveat to the feeding devices. If you have a large capacity feeding device, it has to be manufactured before the date of September 14th, 1994. So that's the caveat to the feeding devices being large capacity.
Is it 14th or 13th?
It's before the 14th. So
Before
it's
the
actually
14th.
9/13/94.
Yep.
But if you say before the 14th,
Right.
that
Okay.
will bring you to 9/13.
Awesome.
The FID, Firearms Identification Card. Oh, back to the LTC, you have to be 21 to apply for that. And that's the only license that allows you to carry of concealed handguns, either loaded or not loaded. So that's the license to carry. FID card permits the purchase, possession, and transportation of non-large capacity rifles, shotguns, and ammunition only. No handguns with the FID card. And new FID applicants must be 18 years or older, 14 to 17 years of age with parental consent. 14, you can apply, but you will not get that card issued to you until your 15th birthday.
Good to know.
Yeah, good to know. Did that make sense?
Yeah,
I want to
yep,
make sure
absolutely.
that you can apply when you're 14, but you're not going to get it until you're 15.
Because a lot of kiddos might go hunting with their
Absolutely.
grandfather or their
Yep.
father and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's what the whole point of that was, right?
Absolutely. And this is for long guns only,
Yep.
shotguns and rifles. This
Right.
isn't for handguns. And we have an FID. There's something else with the FID card. It permits defense spray. So your pepper sprays for anyone between 15 and 17, you need an FID card in the Commonwealth. And no license is required for 18 and over, but there is a caveat to that too. And I want to say it perfectly so I don't mess it up here. If you can obtain an FID card due to a certain criminal disqualifier, and we'll be talking about that too, you can't lawfully possess pepper spray. So that is the little caveat to that.
There's always caveats.
There is. Massachusetts, I mean, the book is this thick, and this isn't a law episode, so we're not going to dive too deep into that, but I just wanted to do a little overview of the difference between the licensure. There is a law that exempts new residents from state licensing, so if you're moving to Massachusetts, you get a 60-day grace period. Goal recommends that you get your training and application into the police as soon as you can, because it can take 40 days or more for that licensure. With that being said, it is for possession in the home only, so you cannot transport any firearms, rifles, or shotguns during that 60-day grace period.
I think that is more confusing for people.
Yeah.
Especially when they're coming from out of state. They think they have a little bit more time.
Yeah, 60 days is not long at all.
Nope.
Especially to get all that paperwork in, whatever training, education you're going to need that's required. It's basically once you move into your home, you got to call
And I think that's really important too, because I think if you are a gun owner in another state, it's your job to be that responsible gun owner and know the laws when you do move from one state to another.
Yes, because
it's very,
they're all
very
different.
important.
They're all different. And some people don't even realize that they're different.
No.
Right?
No.
It's crazy.
No. They're like, what do you mean?
It's crazy.
I need a license? Yes.
All right, so we're going to talk about step one of getting your license to carry. You have to take a safety course that's approved by the state police. And if you go to Mass.gov, you will find all of those approved courses. There's about 25 of them. The most predominantly taught classes are the LTC 002 and LTC 007. 002 is a basics of pistol class, and the 007 is a home firearm safety class. Those are both NRA classes, and if you go to the NRA website, you punch in NRA instructor, find a course, you can pick one of those courses, you click on it, punch in your zip code, and those classes will pop up within a 25-mile radius of the zip code that you put in.
Awesome.
So it makes it really, really easy
Yeah.
to find a class. But if you didn't know that, you might not know where to look.
And USCCA has a great website. They have an app, but don't rely on that. So the app basically gives you state-to-state laws, but don't rely on that. Make sure you go to your actual state's website and verify the law as well. But it gives you a little bit of a guidance. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me check. Let me verify that. So.
Also, with the licensing classes, the state does not dictate that you have to have a class that is a live fire class. So some towns may require that, but that's more of like a policy of that town, not so much a statute of the Commonwealth. There are a couple of exemptions for these firearm safety courses, and that would be for active duty members or for anyone renewing their license. If they've had their license on or before June 1st of '98, they wouldn't be required. If they've had a license, you know, for all that time, if they were looking to renew, they wouldn't have to take a safety course.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good stuff to know.
Lots of good stuff.
Okay, so we're going into step 2 now. Wow, that was pretty quick. All right, so I think this step 2, I think there's a lot of people that don't you find that when we do a class, that's the thing that they're more concerned about, like, what do I do next with the application? And they look at the application and they end up calling us or texting us and they're like, oh my God. So it is intimidating, and it doesn't have to be. So we're gonna review the application. There is 3 pages, actually technically 4 pages, but when you are a new license carrier and you're applying for your license to carry, you need to worry about the 3 pages. The 4th page, really, of the application is an affidavit stating that whether or not you lost or had your firearm stolen within the last 6 years. So we do have a picture of what the application looks like, just the big front page of it, so you see what it looks like. You can get this application pretty much on Mass.gov's website. Also, you can probably, which most towns do, have that on their website as well. So if you go to the town's website, the police department's website, that information should be there for you to, you know, print out and start filling out. We also have a QR code to make it a little bit more convenient for you. So if you click on that QR code, it'll bring you right to Mass.gov, and you can print out the website, the application. So let's go over number 4. Which I think is really important because you need to be truthful on the application. So here it goes. Have you ever been arrested or appeared in court as a defendant or any criminal offense? This is either a yes or no question. Be aware that there is no such thing as a sealed record for the purpose of an LTC or an FID application. No matter your age, you need to put that on the application. Remember, little information on question 4 is no perjury. No information is. All right, so on the application, there is also a spot where it asks for reasons for requesting an issuance of a card for a license. You can put all lawful purposes. And on the application, there are boxes that you can check off. You can check off all of them. But really, technically, to make it very simple for you, all lawful purposes. We do have some disqualifiers as well that we need to talk about. And we do have a caveat as well with that. So any guilty findings where the punishment could exceed more than 2 years in a state prison, regardless of what your actual punishment was, including nonviolent and non-gun related offenses. Any guilty finding for crime involving guns, ammunition, where the punishment could include jail time, even if it's less than 2 years in state prison. And any confinement for drugs, alcohol, or mental illness. And we do have a caveat regarding that as well. So if after 5 years of confinement period, if an applicant can have a doctor write an affidavit stating the applicant is suitable to apply. And we're not attorneys, and we just need to make sure that you are aware of that. We're firearm instructors, and we wanted to basically inform the public of how to get your license to carry. And understand that there are different rules and regulations that's, we have to follow to make sure that we're doing the right thing. But that confinement, everybody has a different story, don't you think?
Right,
and there could be
absolutely.
something that happened when they were, I don't know, 16, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So.
But that was good that you said that, because a lot of people, I mean, I've had that question a lot.
Right.
Asked, well, when I was 16, I did this, and listen, you did it. It's there.
Right.
Unless it was expunged.
Right.
But
So be truthful
That's not-
and know that maybe somebody can help. And so we also wanted to mention too that GOAL, which is Gun Owners Action League, if you are a member and you have questions and you have concerns, you take top priority. So if you call them up and say, I have a question, I have a concern, can you help me? If you're a member, you're on that top of the list. So, and they can give you some information, or at least provide you the resource to where you need to go next. So.
yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That application can get a little overwhelming.
I think so. I really do think it's confusing, it's overwhelming, but we're trying to simplify it so it's easy for you. And I
Yeah.
think especially it's like going to the police department. I mean, that whole process is nerve-wracking.
You talked about
for
that
some.
last page where
Yeah.
that's not even, you don't have to fill that out.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're moving on to step 3. Holy moly.
Holy moly.
So step 3, we're talking about where to apply. You want to apply in the city that you live in or where you have a primary business. So you want to make an appointment with the licensing officer. It'd be a great idea to check out, did I just say idea? Idea.
It's a mouthful.
Massachusetts, okay? We put ours where they don't belong, right? And then we don't say them where they do.
Hey, you packed the car. You know what I'm saying?
So you want to apply in the town that you live in. So
Right.
check out the town's police website prior to making the appointment. See what they're recommending. It might be different than the next town over.
Right.
Again, there's policies versus statute.
Yeah.
So see what they're requiring.
Yep. They have a standard operating procedure that they follow.
Yep,
so.
and every town's a little bit different.
Yep.
So check that out. Make sure when you do apply that you get a receipt with your application. You turned your application in, you paid the fee. Don't forget to get that receipt. It's very important.
That's like a timestamp for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're renewing, keep your license valid, the one that you have, and make sure that you put turn your new paperwork in before the date of your current license. You don't want that to expire before you reapply for your new license. So make sure you get that in before the expiration date of your current license. And it takes a little while. So
It
don't
does.
wait until the day before it expires to turn your
And don't
your application in.
Because I know I got like a notification, hey, your license running out. Don't rely on that. So put it in your calendar, mark it down somewhere, so you know, oh, it's time.
Right.
I got to renew.
Right, don't rely on anyone notifying you.
Right.
Because that's not going to fly when it expires. Well, no one notified me.
Yep.
Okay, so make sure you keep that receipt. All right, so we're on to step 4 already.
Yeah, and going back to the renewal process. Oh no, that's something different. But yeah, definitely get a receipt because that's very important. But yeah, awesome. Yay. Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
It's my
You're
turn.
up, sister.
All right, so now the waiting game begins. I hate saying that, but it's true. So Chapter 140, Section 131, lowercase e, states, the order of what should happen once you pay your payment and application are accepted. By law, the issuing authorities have 40 days to issue your license or deny you your license. So that's, a lot of people don't realize that, and we have to give a big shout out to all the licensing authorities that are doing a due diligence on trying to make sure that they keep up with that. And know that sometimes things fall through the cracks, so a polite email or even a phone call is appropriate. And it's absolutely fine to call them up and say, hey, it's been 45 days or 41 days. I'm just checking on the process. Is there anything I'm forgetting? And usually it's something so simple as, oh my gosh, it's right here. It got stuck under something. My apologies. We'll get this taken care of right away.
If you figure in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, there are over 500,000 gun owners, and there are 312 towns, 39 cities. If you figure out the math,
14 counties.
It's a lot. It's a lot for these licensing officers to get everything done within the 40 days. They do the best they can, and we appreciate it.
And thank you. Absolutely. So if you read Chapter 140, Section 131, again, lowercase e, there is no punishment clause. We want to thank all those police, as I mentioned, but there is no punishment clause. So it's just kind of like, we hope that they follow the 40-day rule, and we check on them when it's going beyond that. But again, thank you so much for following the policy and following the law. We greatly appreciate that. So this is awesome because gun owners actually, I don't know when exactly they did this, but they got this awesome phone number that you can call. It's like a hotline. So if you are just wanting to find out where your application is status, the status of it, everything, they have a phone number that you can call and check the status. So what you need is your full name, date of birth, your driver's license, and call this. So it's 617-660-4722. We do have that number on the screen. And we, I believe, have a QR code for that as well. But if we don't, that phone number, there it is, yay. So if you have any questions with that, just let us know, but awesome hotline to have as a resource.
Yeah, so when you call it, you just want your full name, your date of birth, driver's license, and they'll be able to let you know the status of the application.
Okay, so.
Awesome. That took us to the end, right?
Nope, I have a couple more things.
Ooh, a couple more things.
So we pretty much went over that. So again, if there's any problems, a polite phone call or email would be appreciated. And you can just give them how many days ago you applied. And again, like I said earlier, if there's anything that I'm missing and how can I help to get the process speeded up.
So that's the chief that they're calling.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, because there's a lot of information that we're providing to you, please don't hesitate to reach out to sistersinarms2022@gmail.com. So, yes.
And if we don't have an answer, we'll find someone who does.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yep.
for sure.
We know people.
We know people.
We know people.
We also know that we don't know everything, but we do know a lot of people that do know.
Exactly. And we can guide you to the right person to talk to.
They are actually experts in that field.
Yep, and we're very fortunate to know them.
Yeah, I won't even pretend to be an expert with law. Like that's John Green from Gold. That's him all day long.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Mouthful.
We just flew right through that.
I know. All right.
All right. So the next part of our show, this is the part that I love, is you're waiting to get your license.
Now what?
Find a range. Find a range in the meantime. Most ranges don't, force you to have a license before you apply.
Right.
So if there's over 200 ranges in Massachusetts.
That's a lot.
So you have a lot to choose from. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can look for in a range because ranges aren't all created equally. So I want to start with my first most important thing is goal. If you can get to be a member of a range that is goal affiliated, that will really help increase your chances of educational opportunities. John Green, who's the educator, he does law classes. If you belong to a goal affiliated club, he will gladly come in and teach a law class. It's a 3.5-hour class. Unbelievable.
Right.
I've taken it twice, and both times I've learned something each time, and I'd probably take it again and learn more. It's so much information, invaluable information. So that is one really awesome thing about belonging to a club that is goal affiliated. And we actually have a video on that. So we're going to pop that video up because the video is going to explain what goal is way better than I can.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Mandy Devino, and I am a goal member. I I'm here today to talk to you about Gun Owners Action League of Massachusetts, or GOAL for short, and what we do every day that you probably don't know about. So, who is GOAL? Well, let me show you. GOAL is 16,000 members strong. We are moms and dads, grandparents, teachers, doctors, aunts, uncles, plumbers, your kid's soccer coach, the person next to you in line at the grocery store, your neighbors. GOAL is grassroots, 100% member supported by everyday people just like you and me. We work daily to ensure that your public lands are protected and enhanced for all to enjoy. This includes conservation lands, hiking areas, woodlands, fields, marshes, ponds, and reservoirs. GOAL is the state's leading authority on gun safety training and education. We teach a variety of classes, over 100 per year across the Commonwealth, including introductory courses for women and youth. We introduce people to the shooting sports in a fun and safe manner where all are welcome. For over 40 years, GOAL has provided a leading voice for sportsmen and women, gun owners, and conservation efforts on Beacon Hill and across the state. We provide public education and advocacy leadership to ensure protection of the environment, wildlife, and your civil rights. From town hall to the state house, we are there for you. Join GOAL today. With every member, we grow stronger. You can join online today at goal.org.
That was an awesome video.
Yeah.
That really
I couldn't have explained that like that.
No, and the video actually is really good because, you know, it goes down to also what do you want your license to carry, and that really determines what kind of range you want to find. So
Right.
like in that, they talked about conservation, hunting. So hunting, recreational, competition shooting, personal protection, constitutional right, and collections. So all of those are important. But we do have a nice, awesome website that we pulled up earlier, and I think we can pull it up. And we also, so this is great. This kind of, if you go to this website and just put in your zip code, it kind of gives you an idea of the ranges that are in Massachusetts. And we have a QR code to make life easier for you. So yeah, so let's see what else.
That's the QR code.
Yep. So you talked about, you know, educational, you know, options or opportunities for different ranges. So some ranges are instructor friendly and some are not.
Yeah,
right?
so I think, you know, when you're looking, I call it interviewing a range, because basically that's what you're doing. Take a peek at the calendar. Go to the range's website, look at the calendar. Do you see a lot of educational opportunities there? Do you see a lot of classes being offered? Don't just look at 1 month, because you might have a down month, there may not be a lot. But, you know, flick through and look and see, and hopefully you'll see many opportunities with different classes being offered, different instructors coming in. I cannot tell you how important that is. You know, let's talk about, you know, we've been in ranges where there were no instructors there. They weren't really instructor friendly.
Right.
There weren't any classes being taught. And so if you wanted to, you know, take a class, you had to go elsewhere. You had to go to a different range, you had to travel. And when, you know, way in the beginning when we first started out, that was kind of uncomfortable.
It was, and that's why I think it's important that you have the right to go to a meeting, you have a right to call the range in advance to find out what kind of opportunities they have and what kind of programs they have available.
Right.
So all those things are super, super important. We're going to be talking about education on our next episode, and we'll be discussing a little bit of this as well. So we're running out of time. I can't believe that.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
How is it possible? Look, we have all these show notes.
I know, we got show notes. We have show notes. But I can't thank everybody enough for tuning in. Thanks so much for tuning in to Sisters in Arms. If you have any questions, please email us at sistersinarms2022@gmail.com. Until next time, stay safe
And stay vigilant.
Awesome.